Now, Interbrand released its 11th annual ranking of the best 100 global brands, and guess who made it at the top once again for 11 years running, in fact, and that's Coca-Cola. On the desk with me now, Jeremy Sampson, Group Executive Chairman of Interbrand Sampson. Thank you so much, Jeremy, for joining us today. Coke making it at the top once again, and there's three basic things that really make a strong brand. It's the financial performance of the branded products, the role of the brand in terms of the purchasing decision, and then you've also got the strength of the brand that is going to secure future earnings, and Coca-Cola for many years has been getting it right.
Well, for 124 years. It's quite amazing. As we were saying off air, this brand fizzy drink, yet it's still the biggest brand in the world, worth over 70 billion. It's crossed the 70 billion mark again this year. And it stays young, it stays relevant, and it resonates with us all the time. And that's the key thing. It doesn't get old, it doesn't get plugged into a certain generation. It stays resonating with us all.
And then we had the top four coming in at number 5, General Electric, McDonald's at number 6, Disney coming through at number 9. But we did have some new entrants coming through in the top 10, HP being one of them, and really dominated the top 10 by the technology space. We've got Google and we've got Microsoft, and we've got them coming in head to head as well. And we know Google has been doing relatively well.
Google has grown over 30% in 12 months. And for a brand that's, what, 12, 13 years old, that's quite incredible. A couple of years ago, everyone was talking about Coca-Cola, who was going to be the big attacker, and it was Microsoft. Microsoft seems to be stable in the 3rd position now, but it's Google is seen as the big threat to all the brands above it.
Well, Apple also increasing quite dramatically, because we saw the brand value increasing by 37%. And of course, it's all about technology coming in and being innovative.
Yes, and Apple, of course, isn't one thing. It's the iPhone, it's the iPad, it's all sorts of things. And it's had a fantastic run. And when you think that Steve Jobs is the person who's brought it all together, after all, he founded the company, then he was out of the company for 10 years. Now he's come back in, and look what he's achieving. It's quite amazing.
Okay, iPhone versus the BlackBerry. BlackBerry increasing by 32%, and apparently the favorite smartphone for businesses right now.
It is, and that's a global phenomenon. And it's interesting that therefore you have a big loser, because Apple and BlackBerry are going so strongly, and the big loser is Nokia, because they've missed, they were number 1 after all 5 years ago. They've missed the surge of the smartphone.
Taking a look at the financial sector, we've been seeing some interesting moves coming into the top 100. Barclays at number 74, Credit Suisse number 80, and Santander number 68. We have seen a lot of those brands losing ground, though, deterioration of brand value purely because of the financial crisis. Citi at number 40 and UBS number 86.
UBS seems to be the big loser. Last year it was, and again this year. It's still in a bit of free fall, whereas some of the other banks are bouncing back. JP Morgan has bounced back very, very strongly
29% higher, though.
Yes, yeah. So you have huge movement in the banking sector still. A lot depends, have they been bailed out, or are they benefiting from all the inputs?
Touching on those brands that have seen a deterioration in brand value, BP, Beyond Petroleum, out of the top 100, and one only has to remember the environmental hazard that played out not too long ago. Of course, that being a big hamper to its brand as well. Goldman Sachs, though, increasing by 1%, even though at number 37, even though we have been seeing a lot of negative news. Tell us about how this plays out when it comes to brand value, and how you can come back and try and fix things going forward.
I think Goldman Sachs, after the crunch of 12 months ago, seemed to be coming back very strongly. But then it got caught out, which a lot of people called avarice. And this whole Main Street versus Wall Street debate grew and mushroomed, and people saw Goldman Sachs and their chief executive as almost the bad face of Wall Street, and I think they've suffered as a result.
And Shell taking on BP, of course. Toyota coming down 16% because of all the recalls that we saw as well. But let's just touch on the impact of social media, because it seems that a lot of these brands have been using the internet and various social media sites to try and boost their brand value.
One of the big ones quoted is Ford, where Ford is coming back very nicely. I think it's positioned about number 50, but it's actually coming back now from the depths it's been in, and they're using all the channels to market, which social is a big one.
I'm running out of time. South Africa mentioned for the first time, very quickly.
South Africa is mentioned in emerging markets. So more and more people are saying outside of the top 100 where the new brand's going to be coming from, and hopefully Africa, the BRICS, the civets will be soon serving up some top brands.
Hopefully within the 100 space. Thank you very much, Jeremy. Much appreciated. Jeremy Sampson, Group Executive Chairman of Interbrand Sampson.